Alistair, look, I'm a reader of your Substack channel every time you produce an article, probably every 2 or 3 days, and I get enthralled. I look forward to them. So this question is based from your Substack information. So in your recent Substack articles, you repeatedly said that this present time now is similar to the late 1920s, except that the US was on a gold standard. Today we have a fiat currency. What do you see happening in the next 12 to 24 months regarding the supply of gold and silver?
Well, the background and the reason for the comparison, quite simply, is that my theory is that we're coming to the end of the fiat currency system. What that means is that you have a complete collapse, if you like, of the current system, or alternatively, it has to be if you like, we have to return to a gold standard. Now, I see absolutely no sign, either politically or intellectually, of the fiat currency system returning to a gold standard. So I can only assume at this juncture that the purchasing power of the dollar will fall at an accelerating pace from now. And on that basis, we look at history and we think, well, what's happened in the past? And the best documented hyperinflationary collapse, of course, was Germany following the First World War until its final collapse in November 1923. So we can see that actually is quite a useful template as to how human behavior affects things and the relationship between the politics of the situation, the manufacturing side, what happens to share prices, what happens to the purchasing power of the currency. And we can see echoes of this now. I mean, it's quite simple. The rate at which credit is being expanded by the government to finance its own deficit is now accelerating, and they're funding it with near cash. You can see the next stage. What happened in Germany in late 1921, early 1922 was a significant decline in stock market values. And if you measured it in gold, in fact, what happened is it collapsed to only 7% of where it was back in 1918. So this collapse, if you like, in stocks, I mean, if we get that today, and we have undoubtedly got the biggest credit bubble ever seen in financial history, we get that collapse, the implosion of the credit bubble. What's that going to do? Well, we know exactly what's going to happen. The Fed and the US Treasury are going to have to rescue everything. And how do they do that? Well, there's more and more monetary inflation, the inflation of credit. I mean, basically, they just print. Now, the printing in 1921 through to 1923 was done mainly by paper. But nowadays, of course, we don't run around with loads of notes. It'll all be done by puffing up the bank reserves. And this is why it's so important to understand the implications of the Fed policy, which is restarting QE. And what's that? That, if you like, is printing money and bolstering the reserves of the banking system, which basically means it's exactly the same thing. It's just print. So we are going down the same route that Germany went down in the early 1920s. This is reflected in a gold price, which just goes up and up and up and up and up. And the idea that gold might go to 5,000 next year or whatever. No, that's the wrong way to look at it. The way to look at it is, how long will it take for the fiat currency actually to finally collapse?
I think we've said it again there. I mean, there's dark days ahead of us, but very interesting if you've got gold now. I mean, Alasdair's made the point that 6 ounces of gold bought a nice swanky unit in Germany back in those 1920 days of Weimar Republic.
Yeah.
So if you've got gold now, or you're actually buying more and more, you're going to be doing very well, where others are going to find it very, very hard.